Welcome to MLB Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by TheLines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guys Mo Noir in the Midwest. We got Nate Weitzer on the East Coast, and we are looking at a Monday night slate here, all night games. So we've got plenty to choose from for you guys. Pretty short slate, but we do have some best bets in here that we do like. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We are bringing these videos each and every weekday of this regular season. Also want you to head to TheLines.com. Plenty of great content as we head into this fall NFL season starting up soon as well. Also got that great odds checker tool for you guys. Make sure you are using that on TheLines.com, shopping all of those lines to the best of your ability out there. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or a DraftKings account, head to FTPicks.com or DKPicks.com. Find those listings in your area, such as what we've got here for Monday night in the MLB, kicking things off with the Doyers. Tony Gonsolin in Miami taking on Pablo Lopez and those Marlins, minus 240 for the Dodgers on the road. The Cardinals and Miles Mikolas in Cincinnati taking on Chase Anderson and the Reds, minus 215 for the visiting Cardinals. Javier Assad and the Cubs are in Toronto taking on Jose Berrios and those Blue Jays, minus 215 for the Blue Jays on the money line at home. Brian Bello and the Sox in Minnesota taking on Dylan Bundy and the Twins, minus 140 for the Twins. Again, we are going to talk about there. Frankie Montas getting another start for the Yankees in LA, taking on the Angels. Jose Suarez, minus 180 for the Yanks and Montas on the road. And then the Ranger Suarez and the Phillies are in Arizona, taking on Madison Bumgarner, minus 175 for the Phils in Arizona. And the last game of the night, another one we will talk about as well, the Padres, Mike Clevenger in San Francisco, taking on Carlos Rodon, minus 135 for the Gigantes at home. That is the game that we're going to kick things off for here. We've got a couple of different lines that we are looking at in this one. The Pods do, though, with favorites, plus 118 on the road there. Kick us off, Mo, and tell us what we are looking at here with that Clevenger-Rodon matchup.
It's looking like a good matchup. One of the few that looks exciting and fun to watch tomorrow. Not the most scintillating slate, I would say. A lot of big favorites. But yeah, this one, a close battle between two division rivals, and with a Cy Young contender on the mound, really, Carlos Rodon has been incredible. At the same time, I would say Mike Clevenger is pretty solid as well. His peripherals aren't the best so far. A lot of them are like pegging him for like around a 4 ERA so far this year. That would be his worst season. I think he's better than that. The projections don't seem to be factoring in that he's got a true talent level to beat his peripherals. He's beaten them pretty handily over 600 innings pitched. So the peripherals that say the projections that have him like an ERA next to his FIP, like, they're both 3.8 or whatever. I don't think that's giving him enough credit. He's going to beat his FIP and his Sierra and stuff. And when you look at his contact numbers, he is still limiting hard contact. His chase rate and his first strike rate look normal. He's missing some swinging strikes this year. I think he can get those back as long as he's, just still throwing the same pitches, which he basically is. Velocity down a little bit. And yeah, just a way better offense behind him, I think. I think more so than the numbers say, because the numbers do have the Padres as the better offense here. Especially with Soto, I think it's probably underestimating them. He came back today. And we have a better defense and bullpen here for the Padres as well. So I think this one should be closer to even money. I'd bet it down to plus 115. It's not like the biggest edge in the world for sure, but I do think the Padres are being a little undervalued here.
Yeah, maybe the Giants being overvalued because they do have such a good pitcher on the mound. But, I mean, even with Rodon starting a couple, they've still lost 8 of their last 10. Their offense hitting 190, 28% K rate. In that span, it's all the makings of a team that's just kind of fading away down the stretch as they have for a while here. I actually like both these guys to have great starts because Clevenger, his success lately has been getting a lot of contact out of the zone. I mean, he's at 68% for the year, and that's 10% higher than last year. Lately, throwing that cutter and slider a lot more, and you're looking at a Giants team that's 23rd against the slider, dead last against the cutter this year. That's a negative 20 value according to Fangraphs. So I think under 3.5 runs in the first half is in play here, or looking at even an alternate line for this under, which is 7.5. Fine, just betting that. Might want to go under 6.5 or 5.5 though. San Diego just got blown up by the Royals, and I think, ended the game with Will Myers pitching, so they should have some rested arms. Hader was the one who got blown up, so they won't have him probably, but they should be in pretty good shape. Their bullpen's been great since the All-Star break. They have a slight edge there for sure. I mean, a pretty big edge with the way the Giants have struggled. So I think we lean towards Padres. I also like some unders there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm going to move us on here to a game, though, where we are potentially looking at a few unders, a couple guys that I know you guys are eyeing here. Brayan Bello and the Sox in Minnesota taking on Dylan Bundy. Pretty big favorites for the Twinkies there at home. And I think both of these teams are coming in similar sort of stances in terms of needing wins right now to continue to stay alive in their each of their playoff races. Really, that the wild card is really what's on the table for both of these guys if they are going to make it. Although the Twins are climbing back into that Central race as well. But tell us what you're looking for here. I know Bello hasn't gone too deep into games here for you and your Boston Red Sox, Nate, and that pen has been a little bit of an issue as well. So tell me why it is that you might be considering Bello and liking him to go a little bit deeper than he's been able to in his young career so far.
I mean, everything about his numbers right now screams ridiculously unlucky. He's got 7.3 ERA versus 3.3 xERA. He's only allowed 3% barrel rate with 67% ground balls, yet somehow nearly a 500 batting average balls in play. Granted, the Red Sox defense has been atrocious, but they have Bogarts back at short now. But offense, significant edge for Boston, as we would expect. I mean, they hit that lull for a while, dealing with some injuries, but in the last 2 weeks here, hitting 290. Their weighted runs created plus is nearly 45 points higher than the Twins, who are only hitting 227 the last 14. Might not have Jorge Polanco in addition to Buxton, who's out. And yeah, they have not been great against fastballs all season. 26th. Bello can throw. I mean, to throw 97 consistently, he's got a lot of talent. I think, he's got a good start in him at some point. And then I look at Dylan Bundy, who basically hasn't missed a bat in 3 straight starts. I mean, he has 3 Ks in 15 innings. He had a 1.5% swinging strike rate last time out, and has been nailed for 95% Z contact recently. He's just kind of an easy pickings here for a team that hits the fastball well, because he throws 50% fastballs and it hovers right around 90.
Bayo, guys. Bayo. Anyways. Yeah, very, very unlucky. 472 BABIP, 62% left on base. Yeah, just a spot where he's actually been somewhat decent, shockingly. When you look at his number, and I was fading him earlier, but I mean, dude, he's in Framber territory with this launch angle, minus 3.1 degrees, 67% ground balls. I mean, like you said, the Red Sox aren't the best team to do that in front of because of their defense, but yeah, even with his lackluster called strike plus whiff rate and swing percent, I'm still a little bit interested in the Red Sox here. No Buxton for the Twins. I had them minus 115 here, so I need a little better than plus 120 to, I think, pull the trigger on the Red Sox. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this one, though. If the market goes the other way, or maybe Twins bench a player or two, I think I'd probably pull the trigger on Boston there.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think, like you were saying, I mean, obviously offense a little bit more on the side of the Sox, especially with those Twins injuries. So we'll see what we like here. I'm moving us on to a game, though, where I am potentially eyeing the total in Arizona, rather. Philadelphia and the Phillies are in Zona taking on Mad Bum. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies looked pretty good as well. I mean, it's a pretty high total there at 9. I still think it's a game potentially ripe for runs, especially as Mad Bum continues to hemorrhage those. And the Phillies, they've had some decent success. Obviously, Harper back in the lineup doesn't help you against lefties tremendously, but I still think that they've got a pretty good lineup to hit Mad Bum and that lefty arm he's going to be putting out there. So kick us off here, Mo, in this Phillies and Diamondbacks matchup. Total of 9 runs, like I said, minus 175 for the Phils on the money line there. So where are you kicking things off on this one?
Yeah, this one, I think I had the line as fair. I would consider the over. I'm with you there. The the Phillies have just been really, really strong hitting lefties. I think they have like a 115 WRC plus. They're a top 10 offense against lefties. The Diamondbacks less well. They do hit sinkers pretty well though, and that's big against Ranger because that's one of his best weapons. And then on the other side, the Phillies have been quite strong against cutters, and that's where Bumgarner likes to attack with. So I think both pitchers potentially in some danger here. I do think the Phillies have had a decent bullpen, surprisingly. But I think a couple injuries there, so probably both bullpens a little bit vulnerable. We know how bad the Diamondbacks bullpen is. We've talked about that one a bunch on here. So probably leaning over. Nothing on the side for me really, but yeah, I would consider some runs to be possible here for sure.
I think, yeah, you definitely want to attack Bumgarner by getting the Phillies run total here. Suarez has been damn nice. I mean, he's Mo's boy here, 1.75 ERA since the break, under 20% hard contact. I'm not banking on him struggling. I mean, his last 3 road starts, he gave up 15, 5, and 18% hard contact. It had an 18% swinging strike rate in one of those. So Arizona's offense, like you said, 23rd against lefties, high K rate since the break. And Mad Bum is just one of the weirdest square pegs in a round hole in the sport at this point. I mean, you've got a KG veteran that's built to go out there and be competitive on a team that's tanking. I mean, they are still technically within shouting distance of wild card, but I mean, he's just lost steam throughout the season as it's become apparent they're less competitive. His strand rate's gone way down, ground ball rate way down. Batters are now hitting 297 against him, guys, when somebody's on base. So, yeah, it gets out of hand pretty quick. That's why 4 earned at least in 5 straight. A barrel rate of 17% in his last 3 starts. So I think he's going to get hit hard. And with Bryce Harper back, that Phillies lineup can do a lot of damage in the later innings, too.
Yeah, I think Mad Bum has sort of extended his career on grit and grind and spite for a few years now, but it might be that Father Time is catching up with him and overtaking that. And Ranger Suarez continues to be on the upswing, as you said. Definitely continue to like him to be able to dominate a Diamondbacks lineup that continues to not really impress and not hit those lefties well. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us as we are bringing you these videos each and every weekday of this regular season. So until we see you next, happy betting.